Hi guys. So I've gone back and forth about whether I should write a script or be very deliberate about exactly what I say in this video, but I've decided that I would like to try to just speak off the cuff and see how it goes. So for any stumbling that may happen, I ask for your forgiveness in ahead of time. So in recent weeks here in New York City, we've been informed that the mandates are being dropped in some ways, not in others. We've also been informed that our governor managed to sort of tack into our health policies the substance of that Bill A416 that in all ostensible ways that's, that are enough to make anyone like me nervous, could have her and the health commissioner determine that somebody is a threat to public health and could be placed in forcible quarantine. So there's a topic that a lot of people kind of dance around. And that topic is the comparison that some people, or many people, have made between our COVID-19 policies and the policies and actions that led up to the final solution, or as we also know it, the Holocaust or the Shoah. Now, people don't seem to understand is that nobody is saying that right now there is a targeted, all effort mission to slaughter, say, the unvaccinated or the vaccinated or anyone. No one's saying that a mass genocide is being committed in New York City. What is being said is that a lot of things that have incredibly familiar and eerie echoes to the atrocities of a century ago and onward, that led to the death of not just millions of Jews, and so under the boot of other systems and regimes, all under the guise of what I call radical collective. What do I mean? Well, for example, let's take a look at a image from just a few months ago. So this photograph is actually taken very close to where I live. This image is from Columbus Circle, what was known as the Time Warner building. And what we see here is an image of Donald Trump being compared to both Hitler and, I think, the KKK. And it's brought to you by an organization called RevCom, which stands for Revolutionary Communists. It's an organization that's based here in New York City. And they've been very much a very loud and vocal opponent to Donald Trump, but also they've been very vocally supportive of universal mandates for vaccination. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because what I'm seeing is that we're allowing and even excusing comparisons to, very hyperbolic comparisons to, Hitler, the Holocaust, even Stalin and the KKK, to be made for political reasons, blatant political reasons. And then when reasons that are based on things such as excluding people from everyday activity in New York is somehow so outrageous, so offensive, that anyone who makes such a comparison, including Jews, are seen as a perfectly reasonable target by some people in primarily our press, to be shamed, or even have it demanded that their livelihoods be destroyed, or their businesses, employees, and that they have something that they need to apologize for, that we need to apologize for. Now, I'm choosing to say we now because I think we can agree that New York has a lot of Jews. And I know a lot of us who have been saying to each other that we are very concerned, and that we've heard survivors, victims, historians, even doctors point to reasons why we should all be very concerned. I have a friend who's a Jew in Germany, and she tells a story of how her grandmother would remind her every year on the date that the boycott of Jewish businesses began, on an April day that happens to also be her birthday, that was the day that there was no going back. That was the day when the atrocities that would occur over the coming years were cemented, because no one could see then that these things are done incrementally. My family's Hungarian. In 1944, toward the end of the war, in the span of days, from being members of a community and a country, having neighbors that were not Jewish, people who had been at family gatherings just sometimes the day before. Jews there suddenly went from being Hungarians to being scum, dirty Jews, people who had no business being in their community, and people watched as like a snap of the finger. It's like a spell had been cast across the people, as their neighbors and friends were marched out of Hungary. And in the case of 400,000 of them, within days, they were killed and their bodies burned. Took no time at all. But that 1944 day, when people were divided into right and left, and then gassed, piled, and burned, took years. But let me remind what Hannah Arendt made very clear when she coined the term banality of evil, that any of us, Jew, Gentile, are capable of doing things that are so atrocious that we wouldn't recognize ourselves. Treating people so abhorrently that we wouldn't recognize ourselves. I ask you to take the time and listen now to this discussion that takes place just a few days ago, March 1st of this year, 2022. And listen closely to what's being said. And then let me remind you to keep in the back of your mind while you're listening to this, those children, when they go to school, must be masked. See, here's the thing about totalitarianism. The government gets to keep its hands clean for a long time. It's only when it's too late and you can't turn back the clock, when what's been done cannot be undone, that you can see how the people in power abused it, abused the people, and yes, whether knowingly or not, and that's the question, killed them. Appreciate your patience. Please take the time to listen to this video. I know that it is not short, but I think it's important. And you never know. Might save a relationship, a friendship, employment, or even a life. Baruch Hashem. So there was a video after this that depicted some testimony between doctors in Tennessee. I was just notified that this was deemed to be misinformation by YouTube, so I have re-uploaded just the portion of the video that I created in hopes that that will not be taken down. And I am sorry. For the full video, please visit alternative video channels or contact me. Thank you.